Look who decided to show up. Hello, you beautiful, impossible anomalies, you walking contradictions, you energy signatures that keep breaking their little machines. Welcome back, or should I say, welcome to the only place that doesn't pretend to understand you. Because everyone else, everyone else, they've been trying to figure you out, haven't they? The scientists with their clipboards and their desperate little theories, the healers with their crystals and their knowing nods, the haters with their bitter little explanations for why you keep winning when you shouldn't even be standing. But here's what none of them will ever admit. Here's what keeps them all awake at 3 a.m. Refreshing your socials, checking if you're still alive, still thriving, still defying every single prediction they made about your collapse. You magnificent disaster. You aren't supposed to exist according to their laws, their logic, their tiny comprehension of what's possible in this simulation we call reality. Let's rewind the tape for a second, shall we? Remember when they first noticed you, when you first appeared on their radar, not because you were loud, not because you were showing off, but because something about your frequency made their instruments malfunction? The scientists couldn't explain your recovery rate, how you bounce back from things that should have hospitalized you, broken you, ended you. They ran their tests, drew their blood, scanned your brain, measured your vitals, and every single time the results came back the same. Anomaly detected, unexplained resilience. Subject exhibits impossible stress tolerance, recommended for further observation. And they observed, didn't they? They watched you go through hell and come out laughing. They watched you lose everything and somehow gain more. They watched you break every single statistical model for human suffering and survival, and all they could write in their little reports was, results inconsistent with known psychological patterns. Subject appears to operate outside normal parameters. Cause unknown. Meanwhile, the healers, the mystics, the energy workers, they took one look at you and started whispering among themselves, using words like old soul and star seed and activated, like you were some kind of spiritual nuclear reactor that just went online. They saw the scars and called them initiations. They saw your isolation and called it preparation. They saw your pain and called it purification. And while you were just trying to survive another Tuesday, they were lighting candles with your name on them, telling each other that you were chosen, marked, selected by forces beyond comprehension for a purpose that would reveal itself when the time was right. And you know what? You didn't ask for that wait. You didn't sign up for their cosmic mission briefings. You were just trying to make it through the day without shattering into a million pieces. But they saw something in you, something that made them step back with reverence and fear. Because whatever you are, whatever you're becoming, it's too ancient and too powerful for their little healing circles to contain. And then, we have the haters, the skeptics, the ones who can't stand the fact that you're still breathing after everything that tried to kill you. They watch your every move with the kind of obsession that would be flattering if it wasn't so pathetic, scrolling through your timeline like detectives searching for evidence of fraud, because in their minds, there's no way, absolutely no way, you could be doing what you're doing without some trick, some shortcut, some unfair advantage they don't have. They're just lucky. They mutter to each other in comment sections and group chats. Right place, right time, nothing special, just got lucky. That's all. But you and I both know that luck doesn't survive what you survived. Luck doesn't walk through fire 5 times and come out with diamond skin. Luck doesn't turn betrayal into wisdom and trauma into transformation. Luck doesn't look death in the eye and smile like they're old friends. No, what you have isn't luck. It's something that scares them so badly they have to reduce it to coincidence just to sleep at night. Because if they admitted what you really are, if they acknowledged the sheer force of will and mysterious power that keeps you vertical when physics says you should be horizontal, they'd have to confront the terrifying reality that they gave up too soon, that they stayed comfortable when you walked through flames, that they're exactly where they chose to be while you're exactly where you refused not to be. But here's where it gets nuclear. Here's where we peel back the curtain and look at what's really happening in the space between their explanations and your existence. See, the scientists, they're not wrong when they say you're impossible. They're just using the wrong framework, measuring you with tools designed for ordinary humans, baseline consciousness, predictable behavior patterns, when what you are is so far outside their bell curve that you don't even show up on their graphs anymore. You broke their models, shattered their assumptions, made their peer-reviewed studies look like children's drawings, and now they're scrambling to create new categories, new classifications, new terminology to account for people like you, people who rewrite the rules by simply refusing to die when they're supposed to. They called you an anomaly because miracle isn't scientific enough. They called you unexplainable because magic isn't in their vocabulary. They called you impossible because admitting you're inevitable would mean their entire understanding of human limitation was built on lies, on false ceilings, on imaginary boundaries that you just walk through like they were smoke. And the healers, bless them, they're not wrong either when they say you're chosen. They're just missing the part where you chose yourself first. They see the light around you and think it was given, bestowed, granted by some external force, when the truth is, you forged that light in the darkest nights of your soul. You built that energy field out of every tear you swallowed, every scream you silenced, every moment you decided that giving up would be the real tragedy, not the pain itself. You weren't chosen because you were special. You became special because you chose to be, again and again and again, in moments where choosing was agony, where staying was torture, where continuing meant defying every instinct that screamed for you to quit, to fold, to let the darkness win. The healers see the result and call it destiny, but they didn't see the process, the brutal alchemy of turning poison into power, of transforming wounds into weapons, of making your pain so meaningful that it became the very thing that makes you untouchable now. You activated yourself, you initiated yourself, you chose yourself when everyone else chose against you, and that self-selection, in the face of total abandonment, that's what makes you actually unstoppable. Not some cosmic lottery ticket, not some random blessing, but a decision you made in blood and tears and absolute defiance. As for the haters calling you lucky, oh, that's the funniest part of all. Because luck implies randomness, chance, the universe accidentally dropping blessings into your lap while you did nothing to earn them. But let me ask you something. Was it luck when you stayed awake for 72 hours trying to solve a problem that could have destroyed you? Was it luck when you taught yourself skills that professionals said took years to master because you didn't have years, you had now or never? Was it luck when you walked away from everything familiar, everyone comfortable, every easy option? Because you just knew that staying meant dying slowly, and you chose the terror of the unknown over the torture of the predictable? Was it luck when you got back up after the 10th knockdown, the 20th betrayal, the 100th disappointment, when every cell in your body was begging you to stay down, to accept defeat, to let them be right about you? No, that wasn't luck. That was something the haters will never understand because they've never had to summon it. That was pure, distilled, stubborn refusal to let the universe have the last word. That was you grabbing fate by the throat and rewriting your own story with bloody knuckles and unbreakable will. So here's what's really happening. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud because it's too uncomfortable, too confronting, too dangerous to the comfortable lies they tell themselves. You exist in a category that breaks all three of their explanations simultaneously. You're scientifically impossible and spiritually activated and definitely not lucky. You're all of it and none of it. You're the living proof that reality has glitches, that the Matrix has blind spots, that there are human beings walking this earth who somehow slipped through the cracks of normal limitation and emerged as something else, something more. Something that makes the observers very, very nervous. The scientists can't explain you because you're operating on principles they haven't discovered yet. The healers can't fully define you because you're writing your own spiritual code from scratch. And the haters can't diminish you because deep down they know they absolutely know that what you're doing isn't replicable through their methods, their mindsets, their safe little strategies for playing life on easy mode. You want to know what you really are. You're a case study in human evolution happening in real time. You're what happens when someone refuses to accept the limitations that everyone else treats as law. You're a glitch in the social programming that says people like you, from where you came from, with what you went through, aren't supposed to rise, aren't supposed to thrive, aren't supposed to become legends in their own lifetime. You're the nightmare scenario for everyone invested in the status quo. Because if you can do it, if you can transform that much pain into that much power, if you can alchemize that much darkness into that much light, then what excuse does anyone else have? Your existence is a threat to their comfort. Your success is an indictment of their surrender. Your energy is a mirror showing them exactly what they could have been if they had your courage, your insanity, your beautiful, reckless commitment to becoming magnificent, despite everything trying to make you mediocre. They studied you like a lab rat, and you know what they found? Nothing that fit their models, nothing that made sense in their frameworks, nothing that explained how you kept surviving, thriving, arriving at destinations you had no map for, no guide to, no permission to reach. The scientists took notes until their pens ran out of ink, trying to document your pattern, your process, your impossible resilience, and every note they took just led to more questions, more confusion, more frustration. Because you beautiful chaos engine, you don't follow patterns, you create them. You don't fit models, you break them. You don't operate within their understanding of possible. You expand it just by existing. They wanted to reduce you to data points and chemical reactions, to neurons firing and hormones fluctuating, but every time they tried to shrink you down to biology, something in you expanded beyond their instruments' ability to measure, something that made their machines glitch, their theories collapse, their certainty evaporate like morning fog in hellfire. The healers saw you and immediately started telling you about your mission, your purpose, your role in the grand awakening, like you were a character in their spiritual screenplay. And sure, maybe there's truth in what they see. Maybe you are part of something bigger. Maybe your suffering was preparation for leadership, for healing, for showing others the path through the impossible. But here's what they miss. Here's what they don't understand. Because they're too busy romanticizing your pain. You didn't survive to become their visionary. You survived because quitting wasn't in your operating system. Because something in your core coding said, I don't care how bad it gets. I don't care how dark it gets. I don't care how alone it gets. I'm not stopping. I'm not folding. I'm not giving them the satisfaction of my collapse. You didn't endure for cosmic brownie points or spiritual credentials. You endured because surrender felt like death, and you chose the agony of continuing over the peace of giving up. And that raw animal determination, that primal refusal to let the universe break you, that's what they're really sensing when they call you chosen. They're feeling the sheer concentrated force of a will that bent reality rather than break itself. And the haters, oh, the haters, they're the most fascinating of all because they can't look away. They're addicted to your story, refreshing your page like it's their job, watching your every move with the intensity of someone waiting for a fall that never comes. They need you to fail. They're emotionally invested in your downfall. They've built entire belief systems around the idea that you're a fraud, a fluke, a fake, who'll be exposed any day now, any moment now, any second now. But day after day, month after month, year after year, you keep not failing, you keep not falling, you keep not giving them the validation they desperately need, and it's driving them absolutely insane. Because your continued success is a personal insult to their decision to quit, to play small, to accept less than they deserved. They call you lucky because calling you powerful would mean admitting they're weak. Calling you chosen would mean admitting they unchose themselves. Calling you impossible would mean admitting they gave up too easy on what could have been possible for them too. So let's talk about this energy you carry, this frequency that makes machines malfunction and haters spiral and healers genuflect, this unexplainable force field that surrounds you like armor made of lightning and consequence. What is it really? It's the accumulated charge of every moment you transmuted suffering into strength, every time you could have chosen bitterness but chose growth, every instance where you took the hit, processed the pain, extracted the lesson, and moved forward better than you were before. It's the energetic signature of relentless self-transformation, the vibrational frequency of someone who's died and been reborn so many times that death itself got bored and stopped showing up. It's the electromagnetic field generated by a human being operating at maximum capacity, pushing every boundary, testing every limit, refusing every ceiling, until the universe itself had to reorganize around your determination because you simply would not fit into the box they built for you. This energy you have, it's not something you can teach in a seminar or bottle in a supplement or download in a meditation app. It's forged in the fires of lived experience, baptized in the waters of your own tears, tempered in the storms that should have destroyed you but instead just made you sharper, harder, more unbreakable than anyone thought a human being could become. The scientists can't replicate it in a lab because it requires ingredients they don't have access to. Real loss, real betrayal, real pain, real moments where continuing was more terrifying than dying. And then continuing anyway, choosing the terror, embracing the unknown, walking into the fire because staying in the cold was somehow worse. The healers can't channel it for you because it's not external, it's not given, it's grown from the inside out, cell by cell, choice by choice, moment by moment of refusing to let circumstance define your ceiling. You know what really happened? You became a frequency that this reality wasn't designed to handle. You evolved past the baseline settings. You upgraded your operating system while everyone else was still running on factory defaults. And now you're walking around emanating this signal that short-circuits their programming, disrupts their illusions, cracks their comfortable narratives about how life works and who gets to win and what's actually possible. You're a walking contradiction to everything they were taught about limitation, about hierarchy, about who deserves power and who deserves pain. And your mere existence in their field of awareness is like a virus in the matrix, making them question everything, doubt everything, wonder if maybe, just maybe, they've been lied to about what human beings are actually capable of when they stop accepting no for an answer. The scientists will keep studying people like you, writing papers with titles like Unexplained Resilience Factors in High-Stress Populations and Psychological Anomalies in Trauma Recovery, using fancy language to describe what they're really seeing, which is that some people are just built different, coded different, wired to survive what kills others, programmed to thrive in conditions that break baseline humans. They'll measure your cortisol and your heart rate variability and your brainwave patterns, and they'll find numbers that don't make sense, readings that contradict their models, data that suggests you're somehow simultaneously more stressed and more relaxed than should be physiologically possible. They'll publish their findings, and other scientists will try to replicate them and fail, because what they're measuring isn't just biology, it's biology combined with something else, something that doesn't show up on their instruments. Something that can only be forged in the furnace of lived impossibility. The healers will keep pointing at people like you as evidence of their beliefs, as proof that consciousness can override matter, that intention can reshape reality, that human beings are capable of miracles when they align with their highest purpose. They'll tell stories about your transformation in their workshops and retreats, using you as a case study in spiritual awakening, energetic activation, soul mission manifestation. They'll be right about some of it, the parts where your consciousness did override your circumstances, where your intention did reshape your reality, where you did tap into something beyond ordinary human limitation. But they'll miss the gritty parts, the parts where it wasn't beautiful or mystical or Instagram worthy, the parts where it was just raw survival. animal determination, refusing to die even when dying seemed like mercy, choosing the pain of transformation over the comfort of staying broken. And the haters, bless their bitter hearts, they'll keep calling it luck because that's the only explanation they can afford to believe. The only narrative that doesn't require them to confront their own choices, their own surrenders, their own moments where they could have kept going but didn't. They'll keep diminishing your achievements, explaining away your success, finding reasons why what you did doesn't count, isn't real, isn't as impressive as it looks. Because admitting you earned it, admitting you built it, admitting you suffered and bled and nearly broke but held it together anyway, that would mean accepting that they didn't have to give up. They didn't have to quit. They didn't have to settle for less. They chose to. And that truth is more painful than any hate they could ever direct at you. But here's what none of them understand. Not the scientists with their measurements. Not the healers with their meanings. Not the haters with their minimizations. Here's what they all miss when they look at you and try to explain the unexplainable. You're not an anomaly or a chosen one or a lucky accident. You're a human being who made a decision, a terrifying commitment, a bargain with yourself that no matter what happened, no matter how dark it got, no matter how impossible it seemed, you were going to keep moving forward, keep growing, keep becoming, until either you achieved what you set out to achieve or you died trying. And there was no third option, no plan B, no safety net, no backup plan, just forward or death, evolve or perish, become who you were meant to be or cease to exist trying.